Limiting factors. We stopped at temperature. We didn't
Fine.
finish temperature
So we have finished with
completely.
that chapter, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any query or uh, anything which you want to know about that chapter?
No.
No, no question. All
No.
right. So today I got your another booklet, another chapter. In fact, that is a 5B, and it is all about the ecology, right? Statistic and ecology. That is the chapter name of the chapter. Okay. So what is that? Okay. Ecology. I'm checking your textbook. What is an ecosystem? The first is what is an ecosystem, and then there are particular terms, right? So let me explain you one by one, right? So the first one is what is the ecosystem? So can you tell me what is the ecosystem? Ecosystem. Any idea?
Um, all of the kingdoms all together.
All the things all together, like
Like animals and birds and humans.
okay. So let me tell you what is ecosystem. Let me tell you with an example, right? So first, look, I'll give you example like Earth is itself an ecosystem, and a pond is ecosystem, a forest is ecosystem. So let me give you example of a pond, right? For example, this is a pond. It's a pond. It's a very big pond. This is pond. And this part is filled with the bottom part, that is filled with the soil. This part. So this is all soil, and soil have reservoir. Soil is a reservoir of mineral. It have mineral. It have microbacteria and a number of the other things which are present over here. So this is pond ecosystem. So I would like say with example pond ecosystem. So first and foremost thing that every ecosystem or any kind of the system, to run the system, it is required energy. So there is a single source of energy on Earth, and rather Earth in this universe, there is a single source of energy, that is the sun. So sun is the source of energy. So sun provide energy to our ecosystem, any ecosystem, either forest or I have said that already that the Earth is itself an ecosystem. So sun provide energy. Now, what are the organisms which trap the energy? We have already discussed a lot about it in the chapter of photosynthesis, that these are the only plants which have capability of trapping the solar energy. So they trap the solar energy. So there are plants or certain green bacteria, blue-green algae. So they are the, so first the plant, what can be said that the plant are producer. So they capture energy and they are basically produced. Why? Because they are the only object on the earth, or rather the only organism on the earth which can trap the solar energy, or rather they can convert the radiation energy in the form of chemical energy. So they produce the food. So they produce the food. After that, when they produce the food, there are certain organisms which take the food. So first there are fishes. Fishes are herbivores. So herbivore fishes, what exactly they do? So they take the nutrition from these producers. So these producers, so they are called basically primary consumer. Primary consumer. So primary consumer are those which directly dependent on the plant source. Then this fish will be eaten by a larger carnivore fishes, right? Larger carnivore fishes. So these larger carnivore fishes, they eat this. It do not look like fish. Rather, we can say this is crocodile. So rather first it's a crocodile. So there are secondary consumers. So these are secondary consumers. Then crocodile may be hunted by someone else, right? So there are certain food chain, right? What will happen end of the day? One fine day, the plant have to die, the fish have to die, and even the crocodile have to die, right? These crocodile, fish, and all that, they are basically there are certain bacteria, and these bacteria and fungi they are called decomposers. What decomposer will do? Decomposer will decompose them, right? And they will break down into mineral. It will be broken down into mineral, and then the minerals absorbed by the plant again. So the cycle will go on, right? Along with that, when they will be decomposed, the energy will be released. So due to decomposition, energy will be released, right? This energy will again go to the universe, right? So what kind of the thing which we can see over there? There are two kind of the things, right? What are those things? So first, I would like to write the thing which I write in the blue color. They are basically non-living. So there are air. There is air first. Second thing, water, right? Third thing, soil, right? Fourth thing, energy, right? So all these things which are present over here, they are non-living, right? So there are two kind of the factors. So first factor which are present over there, non-living. So non-living factor are also called abiotic. So there are one kind of the factor which are present over here, they are abiotic, and simply abiotic factor are called non, right? Non-living factor, I have already told you that there are air, water, and soil, energy. One more thing, temperature. One more thing, pressure. These all are non-living factors. Another kind of the things are biotic. Another factor are biotic, right? So in ecosystem, there are two kind of the factors: biotic, abiotic. What are the biotic factor? All those living objects which are present in ecosystem, they are called biotic. So what are those living factor? There are certain producers. They may be plant, they may be living algae. So there are producers. Then there are certain animals, right? And there are certain microbacteria, right? Microbacteria are rather than macrobacteria, macro. So we can say, what is the ecosystem? Ecosystem is the system where living and non-living or biotic and non-biotic factor, they interact with each other and they maintain the flow of energy in any system. That kind of the system is called ecosystem. So we can say this is a type of ecosystem. Did you got my point? What is ecosystem?
Yeah, I understood.
Okay. So better I would like to say, please note it down. Then I'll dictate to you what is the ecosystem.
Okay, sir, done.
Done? Okay. Please note it down. Ecosystem is a system. Ecosystem is a system where biotic and abiotic factor, biotic and abiotic factor interact with each other. Ecosystem is a system where biotic and abiotic system interact with each other and maintain the maintain the flow of energy and maintain the flow of energy with the help of food chain, with the help of food chain and mineral cycles, food chain and mineral cycles. Okay. So before going ahead, let me check with your text. What is the next one? Now, what is the ecosystem? Fine. What is community? What is habitat? Microhabitat. Population. Okay. Then community, niche, abiotic factor. Let me jot it down. There are certain headings which I need to explain. Let me take it one by one. Habitat, population, community, niche. Fine. Okay. General terms. So first thing which is given over here. So I'll write some of the terms which are there in your notebook, your textbook. So the first term is what is population. Then the second term there is community. Population, community. Then what's that? Population, community, habitat, niche. Community. Then the next term is habitat and next term is niche. So can you tell me what are these terms? What is population? Affaf?
Population, number of organisms living in a system or in
Number
a
of
particular
organism.
place.
Number of organism.
Living in a particular place.
Okay. So when I ask you that what is the population of your district, so what you will say? You will count.
Population of what?
So you will count your population of.
Population of what? What did you
Okay.
say?
If you will count the population of living organism, then you will count human, cow, buffalo, dog, birds, everything.
I guess so.
No, not at all. When I say what is the population of a particular country, right? Then you say accounting, and those countings are of only humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So humans are a type of organism.
Yeah.
When I say what is the population of tiger, so you count only tiger. If you have to count only, or if you say that these are the number of organisms, then you have to count all living organisms, right? Which is not practically possible. Look, So population is when you count, population is a total counting of, when you say total counting of a particular species. When I say what is the population of your country, then you count only human. Human is a type of species, particular species, and then of a particular geographical area, particular geographical area, because you are counting a country, not a globe, not two country, not three country. Or if I say population of your district, then you count the geographical area of your district only. So particular species, particular area, then after every 10 year population counting is done of at a specific time. Specific time. So when someone says what is the population, then what you will say, population is a number of a particular species living in a geographical area at a specific time, right? When I say what was the population of tiger, what was the population of tiger in your country in 2020, then I am talking about population of tiger, means I am talking about a particular species. Then in your country, I'm talking about a particular geographical area, and in 2020, because if generally I can't say this is the population of my country, because every year number of people are added on, or number of people getting deleted, because every year the people are dying and the newborn babies are taking birth. So when the peoples are taking birth or peoples are migrating from particular different places, they add on to the population. When the people die and they migrate from a country, they decrease the population. So we have to take care of these. Got it?
Yes.
So please note it down. Population is a number of organism, of particular species, number of organism of particular species living in a given geographical area, living in a given geographical area at living in a given geographical area at a particular time, a particular time, right? Crystal clear? Affaf?
Yes.
Then tell me what is the community?
Community is a number of people living in a particular place.
Number of people, that is a population, not community.
Community, I guess, is people that have common interests living all together.
Ecology is quite different from this general term we use. When I say community, when I say how many communities are living in your society, then you have to count that how many type of organism are living, how many species are living. Humans, then you will say humans, dogs, cows, buffalo, and cat, rat. So you have to count all species. So in community, we count the different type of the population. So number of the populations are living. So means cat is a type of another population. Then in community, we count the different type of the population. Got my point? Clear? When I say community of your society, so you have to count all type of species living in that area, right? So please note it down. Community is a group of species, sorry, group of population, I'm sorry. Community is a group of population that is present, group of population that is present in
Sir,
particular.
I couldn't hear you very well.
Sorry,
Your voice was breaking.
Okay, should I think I should switch off the video. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay. So please note it down. Community is the group of population found at the group of population present at particular present at particular geographical area present at particular geographical area, right? Now the next one, the next thing which is given, niche, habitat. What is a habitat? Next thing is habitat. When I say
Home to a
exact,
particular species.
right, home or house of a particular organism, uh, where it is found, and that is the address of that particular organism, where it is found, where it room for the um, uh, particular area. So when I say your niche means, you can say it's a house, right? So please note it down. Habitat is the place. Habitat is the place where the maximum possibility of finding of maximum possibility of finding of any organism, where it lives, reproduce, where it lives, reproduce, and perform other activity. Then what is the niche? Tell me, what is the niche?
Sorry, I'm still writing.
Sorry. Okay.
Niche is the role that an organism or a group of
Sorry.
species plays in the ecosystem.
I didn't got. Niche is
The role of an organism
the role
in
of
the
an
habitat.
organism
In the habitat.
in habitat.
Wherever.
Can you give me an example? Example.
I'm thinking of one.
Look, habitat is those places where an organism is found, right? But you
Yeah.
know that organism roam around there for sake of search of the food, right? Search of the food, and for its general activity. So that area where it can roam, right? That is called niche. Clear? In the search of food and in the search of performing its activity,
No, sir. It's not clear.
it's not clear. Okay,
No.
let me give you an example. Example of niche. There are certain area, and there is one more contradictory, one more overlapping thing, that is a territory. So we find that there are niche, habitat, and territory. Right? Let me show you. Just a minute. Give me one second. I'll show you more clearly with the help of diagram if I have. I'm unable to find a diagram. Okay, fine. It's a good diagram. Is it visible to you, Affaf?
Yes.
Okay. So, right, look, niche is a bit smaller area, right? These parrot are reproducing species, reproduction of a species. It's taking place in niche, right? Means it's home. I said that that the niche is niche is found inside a habitat. So reproduction, they are reproducing and they are producing the eggs and all that. So in their nest, right? So nest is their niche. Then this honeybee, it's taking the nectar and reproducing the producing the food in its hive. So hive is its niche. And this is squirrel. A squirrel is eating the seed and living at particular tree. So that is its niche. And both have their habitat. They all of them have the same habitat, that is called tree, right? So
Okay,
uh,
so it's
within a habitat
the
there may be different niches.
okay.
So a squirrel might be present inside a big hole of this trunk, right?
So like
Honeybee,
the role of organisms from a particular habitat.
exactly. So habitat is a bigger area where a particular organism perform its activity, right? Particular perform, lives, reproduce, roam for the food. But niche is a smaller area. So what I can say that my colony is habitat for me, but my room or my office room or my home, that is a niche for me. And if you'll say the what is the specific niche of your, I'll say my studio is my specific niche, where basically the I lives, right? Where basically I spend maximum time for my activity. Got it?
Okay, so like this is the place where you spend the most time.
Right. And one
Okay,
more
okay,
thing
I
which is not,
understood.
yeah, one more thing which is not uh, found in which is not in your notebook, textbook. I want to give you one more clarity. So that third thing, that is the territory. And
Mm-hmm.
what is the territory? So first thing, that a dog, right? I have two dogs, right? So those dogs are maximum time living in a dog house, right? So what will be the niche? Niche will be dog house. So dog house is niche, right? Then what is the habitat? Habitat for them, my home is habitat. My house and my garden, that is a habitat for them, right? Then what is the territory for them? You must have seen like they demarcate, dog urinate on a car, on gates, on trees, on electrical poles, everywhere, right? Why they urinate? Actually they by the urination they decide their boundary, right? And within that boundary no other organism, though no other dog can enter. Sometime you must have seen there is a single dog and the number of the dogs have barking on that dog, and they are trying to bite it, and they are very aggressive on that dog. Actually what happens, accidentally some dog have entered in the territory of another dog. So territory is that area. Got it?
What's the difference between niche and territory?
There is a very big look, uh, for the sake of example, of you live in your house, that is a niche.
Yes.
Clear?
Okay.
But your colony is, that is your colony, you might be living in a colony. Your colony is habitat,
Okay.
where you go and bring milk for you and bring chocolates and biscuits and all that and daily utensils from that shop. The shop is present over there. Might be some small market. So that area is habitat for that colony is habitat for, because you roam for your general need. But territory, your father say you cannot go beyond this city, or you cannot go out of the city without my permission. So that is a boundary for you. You cannot go beyond that boundary. That is territory for you. Got it? Territory is that area
Okay, so
which,
like the only area that you're allowed to live,
sorry,
like the only area where you're allowed to.
right. Only that area where you are generally you are allowed to go. So your country is territory for you,
Yeah.
right? If you have to go out of your territory, out of your country, you need visa. Got it? Clear?
Yes.
So please note it down. Niche. Niche is that area. Niche is that area where basically an organism lives. Niche is that area basically where an organism lives. But territory is territory is a bigger geographical area than habitat, where the organism can roam for food, reproduction, habitat, etc.
Sir, what comes after where an organism?
An organism
Yeah.
roam, an organism for
Okay.
roam for food, comma, shelter, food, shelter, and reproduction. Next one. For example, dogs, dogs, deer, and lion demarcate their territory, demarcate their territory by urination. Demarcate their territory by urination. So is that clear? Clear, Affaf? Hello, Affaf. Am I audible? No. Affaf, am I audible to you? Hello. Hello. Affaf, am I audible?
Yes. Yes, sir. Actually, because of the internet,
Okay, okay,
that's,
okay.
you know,
No issue.
the
So,
internet stopped working.
yeah. Okay. So is it clear?
Yeah.
Fine. So the next thing, what I told you, that what is a biotic and abiotic factor. So that is next heading, which is given in your book. That is what is the biotic and abiotic factor. Please note. You can note it down. Biotic factor. Biotic factor are in biotic factor. In biotic factor, we include all the living component of biotic factor. We include all the living in biotic factor. We include all the living component of ecosystem, like producers, like producers, comma, consumers, and decomposers, and decomposers. Full stop. In abiotic factor, next point. In abiotic factor, we include in abiotic factor we include all non-living component, all non-living component of ecosystem. For example, light, water, light, water, air, temperature, pressure, etc. So
Hello.
yeah,
Yeah, sir. Actually, the same thing happened. Internet stopped working.
uh, sorry.
My internet stopped working, so
Okay.
the
So
class, I was out of the class because of that.
so you was unable to write it down.
Yeah.
So what do you jot down?
In a biotic factor, we include all non-living components.
In abiotic factor,
Yeah.
we include all non-living things, right? Like water, air, temperature, pressure, soil, etc. Okay. So you noted down biotic factor, abiotic factor. Now the
Yes.
next thing which is given in your 5.15, page number 5. What is the primary succession? What is the secondary succession? Okay. So first, before going into that, I want to tell you what is the succession. It's important. So succession, okay, logical succession. So let me explain you what is a success. Can you tell me what is a success? Sorry. What is the succession? You must have listened this term, succession.
Yes, yes,
So,
I've heard of this term.
yeah. So what is the succession, Affaf? In layman term, what is the succession?
In what?
Like in layman term, generally what we use the term succession. You must have listened this term in history.
No, I did not take history.
Okay. So generally, a king rule a particular area, right? Then when king die or when he become older, he make prince his king.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
what happened after that? A prince which became who became king, he used to rule, and someone else come and conquer that area, and then he starts ruling. Like this way, there are in suppose that in 100 year there are 5 or 6 people who have ruled the particular city. So what you will say? You will say these were the successor. So successor are those which take the lead or dominate. Got it?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you must have listened that today someone else is like the CEO of Google, right? Then
Yeah.
someone else will come when this person will retire. Then someone else will come. He or she will rule, right? That Google will become the leader of CEO. Then someone else will come. Then someone else will come. So you may see that within a time span of 20 or 25 years, there are 5 or 6 people who became the CEO of Google. So they are the successor. Got it?
Yeah.
Everyone who ruled the city, they were the successor. Clear?
Okay. Yes. Sir,
So that
I'm
is
not in a
called.
rush, but I need to know when will the class end?
Sorry.
When will the class end?
When will the class end? Basically, the
Yeah.
timing of class is like 7 to 8:30. That is the timing of class.
Like, okay. 1.5 hour.
1.5 hours in general. So that
Yeah.
is the general timing.
Because I'm supposed to go with my family to get
You have
groceries.
to suppose. Okay, you have to supposed to go. No issue.
Yeah, I can leave at 8. It's fine.
You can. You can.
Yeah, I can leave at 8.
Okay, fine, fine. So just try to understand what is the succession. Then you can go. Succession. Look. So did you got the succession? What is the succession?
Yeah,
Now,
I've
what is the
understood it.
succession in ecology? Right. So look, uh, what happens uh, that if there is no vegetation in particular area, if it's a desert area, right? And then what
Yeah.
will happen? A very small plant will come in that area. That bushy kind of the plant, they will come in that area. After that, sometime those plant in place of that plant, a bigger bushes will come. Then a bigger tree will come, and a bigger tree will come. After the hundred of year, after the thousands of year, you will see that desertic area is dominated by number of the trees, right? This is called
Yeah.
primary success because there were
Okay.
no forest or there were no vegetation or plants, right? This is called primary success. Now, what is the secondary success? If there is some area where plants are present, but because of volcanic eruption, because of earthquake, because of some a great fire, all the vegetation got vanished and no animals or plants are present over there. But again, after hundred of year, the plant came and the many animal inhabited that area. That is called secondary succession. So primary succession takes place in that area where no livings are present, right? Like desert. Secondary succession is found where previously sometime the community or sometime the plant and animals were present, but because of some reason they were vanished, right? So that is called secondary. Clear? What is
Yes.
primary? So primary succession takes place. You can please note it down. It's written over there. Please note it down. Primary succession, where no living organism where ever existed, that is primary succession. Secondary succession takes place the area that lost all the living organisms. Affaf,
Yeah. Sure.
audible? Okay, note it down.
Yeah, I've noted it all down.
Okay, primary succession and secondary succession. Fine,
So can you give me an example of primary succession?
right? Do you have any geographical area of India? Any idea?
No.
Geographic? No. Uh, Geographical area of Arab Emirates?
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you must have seen there are some desertic area where there is no plant, no tree.
Okay.
Yeah. So if that desertic area after 1,000 years, today we are in the 20th century. For sake of example, after 1,000 years, 23rd century, or rather we can say, and after 1,000 years, right? After 1,000 years. So if we can say after like today we are in 2022. So after 3022 means after 1,000 years. If there is some vegetation, so you will say the people will say that primary succession have taken place in Saudi Arabia, right? Because in desert there were no vegetation, no organism were present, right? But after thousands of years, there are lakes, there are some animals, there are some plants. So primary succession taken place because in desert there were no previous any vegetation was present, right? So we'll say that is a primary succession. In secondary succession, suppose that there is an area where is vegetation, people are inhabiting and animals are living, that is forestry. Suddenly a volcanic eruption taken place, volcano erupted, fire goes in 25 or 50 kilometers above and is spread everywhere. The fire and lava burned every damn vegetation. It destroyed every vegetation around that 100-kilometer area. But sometime after, lava will cool down. What will happen after that? After 100 of years, again this small plant will come, then bigger plant will come, some animals will come on that area and they will start inhabiting. Again after 100 or 200 years, the vegetation will come and the animals will come. So we will say that is a secondary succession. Why secondary succession? Because uh, area lost the vegetation, living organism, but living organism existed in history. Clear? So secondary succession will take place where any time of the in past history the living organism existed, but primary succession takes place where in history never ever any living organism existed in that. Got it?
Yes.
So there's a primary and secondary succession. Next, what is this? Next, secondary succession. So there are some bigger topics we'll discuss in next class because you have to go. You can go now. So because primary succession, I'll tell you what I am going to tell you in primary succession. So actually, in primary succession, what happens? It takes place in the rocks. So in rock, where no vegetation, no living organism, no insect, no nothing is found. There are bare rocks. So there some lichen comes. Then after lichen, bigger lichen comes, foliose lichen comes. Then mosses comes. Then some herb comes after 100 of years. Then after 100 of some shrub comes. Then forest takes that area. So that is called primary succession, right? And that's how the primary succession takes place. And this is called lithosphere or xerosphere. So we'll discuss all this concept in next class because it will take time, right?
Okay.
One more primary succession, like this is the primary succession which takes place in water, where first algae comes, the lake which do not have any living plant or animal. First phytoplankton like algae comes, then some rooted plant comes, then some floating plants come, then those floating plant and floating rooted plant they start reducing the water of the lake after
So,
some time.
sir, primary succession is basically a place where no organism existed, but then it starts to exist.
Sorry, no organism existed then.
It starts to exist, like plants
Right.
come and animals don't.
That is called primary succession.
Okay.
In secondary, sometime in the history, the organism used to exist over there, right? But
Okay.
because of some reason, they were wiped out by the nature. That